home to his wife and the son he'd never too, by dropping atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Instead, something miraculous happened. He began to use atomic energy now. People enjoyed luxuries once thought the realm of science fiction. Domestic robots, fusion-powered cars, portable computers. But then, in the 21st century, people awoke from the American dream. Years, the entire world unraveled. Peace became a distant memory. It is now the year 2077. We stand on the brink of total war. And I am afraid. For myself. For my wife. For my infant son. Because if my time in the army taught me one thing, it's that war never changes. War never changes.
You're gonna knock him dead at the Veterans Hall tonight, huh?
You think?
Absolutely. Now get ready and stop hogging the mirror.
Right.
My turn, good guy.
Videos that work like your all-time favorite player. And all because you have this amazing Google Pixel 6 phone app. They're the fastest 5G network.
Welcome back to my review series of the Pokemon Journeys anime. In this video, I'll be reviewing episode 86, Mega Evolution vs. Gigantamax. Let's get started. The multi-class battle between Ash and V continues, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it could have been better. Don't get me wrong, there were really cool moments in the episode, but for every cool moment, it seemed like there was an equally questionable one. For starters, this battle was the perfect opportunity for Kappa to get a revenge win against V's Halucha, but he actually loses. Like, are you kidding me? They really had the nerve to make him lose to Halucha twice? That wasn't a good start. All this because he has to get at least one win before losing the grapple. Again, it just feels like they're repeating previous battles at this point. But luckily, Lucario has the chance to redeem the battle, right? I mean, it's finally getting the chance to win against its rival Graplock with the one-shot Aura Sphere. God, I wanted him to win, but not like this. At this point, the battle felt kind of sloppy in my opinion. The only thing that can truly save it now is the Lucario versus the champ finale. And I will admit, I did enjoy it. Seeing Ash finally use Mega Evolution was so cool. It's what we've wanted to see for years, and I think they handled the moment pretty well. Lucario was looking awesome out there. Unfortunately, I can't really say the same for G-Max Machamp. Because of Pokemon can only remain Dynamax for 3 moves, it makes G-Max Machamp's time extremely short, and he didn't even do that much in the form. Like, what the heck was that moment where Machamp's G-Max Chi-Strike literally did nothing to Lucario? I still don't understand what happened there. In the end, thanks to the power of the Aura Bond phenomenon, Lucario was able to learn Steel Beam in order to finally give Ash the win against V. So that was a cool finish at least. When I really think about it, the only part of the battle I truly thought was good was the ending. Everything else looked cool, but was kind of underwhelming to be honest. Like, it was great to see Ash get the win in the end, but did it really have to happen at the cost of my boy Cameron? Why are they doing like that? This episode's rating is a 6 out of 10.
Good morning. Your clock, 173.5 degrees Fahrenheit. True to perfection.
Hey, Codsworth.
Enjoy your coffee.
It's home.
I shall help young Shaw.
I know
I
we
know
were
we were
nervous at
nervous at
first, but
first, but
I'm glad
I'm
we
glad we
got
got
Codsworth.
Codsworth.
Can't
Can't
believe it's
believe it's
almost
almost
Halloween.
Halloween.
It's that
It's that
salesman.
salesman.
I don't know
I
why he
don't know why
keeps
he keeps
bothering me.
bothering me.
Good morning. Vault calling.
Vault Tech? Remind me
Remind me
again.
again.
Why, we're about you, ma'am, and helping secure your future. You see, Vault-Tec is the foremost builder of state-of-the-art underground fallout shelters. Vaults, if you will. Luxury accommodations where you can wait out the horrors of nuclear devastation. You can't begin to know how happy I am to finally speak with you. I've been trying for days. It's a matter of utmost urgency, I assure you.
I'm here now.
So you are. So you are. Now I know you're a busy woman, so I won't take up much of your time. Time being a precious commodity. I'm here today to tell you that because of your family service to our country, you have been pre-selected for entrance into the local vault. Vault 111.
Sounds great.
Oh, it is. Believe you me. Now, you're already cleared for entrance in the unforeseen event of total atomic annihilation. I just need to verify some information. That's all.
Tell me more about this vault.
Oh, it has all the amenities of the modern home, I assure you. Not to mention total protection from nuclear radiation and hostile mutants. A better future underground. It's not only our mission, it's our passion.
Sure, let's do it.
Splendid! Splendid. Now, let's see. Wonderful. That's everything. Just gonna walk this over to the vault. Congratulations on being prepared for the future.
Thanks again.
Hey, it's peace of mind. That's worth a little paperwork.
For you and Sean, no price is too high.
Good answer.
I have my moments.
Sean has been checked, but he obviously refuses to call me now. I think some of that maternal affection is so good.
Go ahead, honey. I'll be there in a second. Why don't you give it a spin? That's my boy. On his best behavior, just like his dad. In the park further. Weather should hold up.
Let's get pumpkins instead. Carve jack-o'-lanterns.
Sir, Mom, should come and see this.
Codsworth? What's wrong?
Followed by flashes, sounds, explosions. We're jumping up confirmation. Seems to have lost contact with the police stations. Do have coming in. That's confirmed reports. Confirmed reports of nuclear detonations in New York and Pennsylvania. My God.
We need to get to the vault. Now!
Let's go.
If you're in the program, follow it. Otherwise,
We need to get in. We're on the list.
Infant, adult male, adult female. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir. And God help us all.
You two, follow me. Come on.
What's gonna happen to all those people outside the gate?
Everything we can. Now keep moving. Step on the platform in the center.
Almost there. Is Sean okay?
He's fine. We're gonna be okay. I love you.
Oh my God.
Everyone please step off the elevator and proceed up the stairs in the order
What's up, guys? This is Ronald Timo, back with another Fallout 4 countdown, and today I want to go over 10 of what I think are among some of the best armors in Fallout 4. Now, before we start, as you can see from the title, this video is going to be combining multiple different armor types together, ranging from power armor, armor outfits, and standard armor pieces. There's obviously a lot of variety, and because all of these armors are so radically different from one another, when it's coming to rankings, I'm generally prioritizing the best resistances at lower weights. Also, keep in mind that each item on this list is judged by itself, and you may find that combining some of them together may yield superior overall resistances when compared to other entries by themselves. But without further ado, these are 10 of what I think are among the best armors in Fallout 4, starting now. Number 10, Operator Heavy / Disciple Metal Armors. Now, it was a tough choice between the two, and I ultimately decided to include both of these. However, if it were just me, I would have decided to go with the Operator's Heavy Armor due to its more balanced resistances overall. And to give you some idea of just how close both of these armors are, the Operator and Disciple's armor weigh the same with and without Ultralight mod, and both should clock in at around the same value before any upgrades. The only real difference between the two is when it comes to resistances. The improved Operator's Heavy Armor provides a combined 153 damage and energy resistance, while improved Disciple's Metal Armor will provide a combined 148 damage and 166 energy resistance. At that point, the question of which of these two is the better armor really depends on the situation. The Disciple's Metal Armor might prove better against energy weapons, while the Operator's Heavy Armor might be more useful overall due to those resistance.
Okay, I'll have this up.
Your best bet is to look at the numbers of their corresponding number. And really, the armor you're end up using could vary depending on how you
It's down below. Just
Operator's Heavy or Disciple's Metal Armor sets, the Pack Heavy Armor set is quite good for different reasons. While it doesn't provide quite as high damage and energy resistance as the other two, Pack Armor has the advantage of being thicker and lighter. And for the sake of comparison, both the Operator's Heavy and Disciple's Metal Armor clock in at about 49.8 pounds, provided all pieces are upgraded to improve and have the ultralight mod installed. If the same thing is done with Pack Armor, the Pack Armor will weigh 27.2 pounds, which is almost half of what the others weigh. While I will admit that the resistances aren't quite as high on the Pack Armor, you have to consider that you're getting far more resistances per pound than you would with the other two armors. So if getting the best defense per pound is important to you, then I would recommend the Pack Armor over the Operator Heavy or Disciple Metal Armor. Like the Operator and Disciple Armor, though, your best bet for acquiring this armor is to learn from members of the Pack Gang in the Nuke World DLC. This will obviously be easier or more difficult than what Nuke World games allies will have to deal with its conclusion. But if you can obtain this armor, it's possibly the best of what the three Nuke World games have to offer. Maxim's Battle Coat. Aside from looking pretty cool, Max's Battle Coat is actually a pretty great armor outfit. While it lacks energy resistance entirely in its base form, it has fairly high damage resistance and provides the player with +1 However, the best part about this armor is that the ballistic weak mod can be applied, which will bring up the Battle Coat's defenses to 160 damage resistance and 110 energy resistance when fully upgraded. And to give you some idea, this is far better than many of the other armor outfits, like Operators on Stress or Gauge's Armor, which tends to be popular choices among players that want a nice armored outfit. I would say the only armored outfit that's really got an edge on the ballistic weed Maxim's Battle Coat is the Railroad Armored Coat Mark V, which does have superior energy resistance. However, at more than double the weight, I think you'll find that it might be worth it to forgo additional 40 energy resistance and 10 red resistance for an armor that weighs more than half as much and also provides considerably more damage resistance. Fortunately or unfortunately, the Only way to obtain this armor outfit is to defeat as looted from Elder Maxon. Pickpocketing him doesn't work, so if you want this armor, you're more than likely going to obtain it in a playthrough where you don't side with the Brotherhoods. Number 7, T-51 Power. Despite T-60 being better and capable of providing superior defensive capabilities, I would recommend the T-51 as a more practical choice. Not only are upgraded variants of T-51 potentially on par with pieces that have lower tier lining, but T-51 also happens to be much cheaper to repair and upgrade. When it comes to repairs, T-51 requires skills or armor pieces worth of, while armors not only require more steel, but also require much more uncommon technical components like plastic or aluminum. And the same thing really goes to upgrades as well. T-51 usually only requires aluminum, adhesive, circuitry, and nuclear material, while T-60 requires many of these resources in much greater quantities, while also requiring uncommon components like rubber. As for acquiring T-51 armor, though, like most power armor, it is level dependent and usually starts to show up once the player gets about level 12 to 15 or so. Alternatively, if you are having trouble finding a set, there are other factory, while another is found in a truck up the road north of the National Park Visitor Center. Number 6, the Mechanist armor. All in all, the Mechanist armor set is quite possibly one of, if not the best armor set in the game. Before upgrades, the Mechanist armor already knows some of the highest damage and energy resistance available, with the suit itself clocking in at an impressive 72 period. Provided you have the helmet, you should get around 5 damage and energy resistance, which is pretty decent. Plus, when you add in the fact that the Mechanist armor reduces damage from robots while providing +1 to endurance, and the helmet provides +1 to first-time intelligence, this armor in its base color is pretty hard to beat. Where the magic starts to happen, though, is when you add in a ballistic mark. Assuming you strap a Mark 5 ballistic boost onto the armor portion, you can increase the Mechanist armor back in. You can achieve an even more impressive 195 damage and energy. Overall, I highly recommend this armor set upon DLC. You can either defeat the Mechanist and loot from them, or you can simply resist it from them, providing you options for a more diplomatic resolution. Number 5, the Silver Shroud armor. While the hat doesn't provide any resistances, and the outfit's power changes depending on what level the player completed the Silver Shroud side quest, the Silver Shroud outfit has the potential to have the best resistances available at its weight. Clocking in at just about 7 pounds, the Silver Shroud outfit can achieve 87 damage and energy resistance, which I would say is pretty good. And while you may find that other armors can be lighter and provide superior resistances, the reason you would use the Silver Shroud armor is because of its ability to provide a +1 to ability and perception, as well as having a built-in Assassin's Legendary Armor effect, which will reduce damage the player takes from enemies. Otherwise, if you want this armor, be sure to start the Silver Shroud side quest at level 45 or higher. Then you'll need to obtain the Silver Shroud costume from Uber's Comics and take it to Ken Connolly's Disney. From there, you'll need to progress through the Silver Shroud side quest until you're tagged to confront Sinjin, who has captured Kent, and provided that you can save Kent during the quest, you will upgrade your costume to its maximum potential. Number 4, Overboss Power Armor. While Raider power armor is traditionally pretty terrible, if not inferior to most other power armors that the player can obtain throughout the game, the Overboss armor added with the Nicola DLC is actually quite good. In fact, you might be surprised to know that the Overboss armor shares similar resistance capabilities as a fully upgraded T-51F. However, it has lower armor HP and significantly less flexibility when it comes to modification. Specifically, you're not going to be able to add a jetpack to this thing if you want. On the flip side of that, though, the crafting resources needed to repair the Overboss armor are much lower and are actually more in line with regular Raider power armor. In fact, you can repair the entire armor set with 20 steel, which is insanely low when you consider the amount of defense this armor provides. What's also kind of neat about this armor is that the torso piece has this shocking effect which deals damage to enemies that are very close. And while this won't deal massive damage, it is a nice touch for an armor that has insanely low repair requirements for the amount of defense it provides. I also think it doesn't hurt that the overboss power armor is really easy to acquire, as all you really have to do is simply go to the world and use overboss holster with the water pistol at the very beginning of the DLC. And once you defeated him, all you can do is just loot it from. Number 3, the military. In my humble opinion, when it comes to clothing that you can apply all armor pieces to, I think the military fatigues are the best. Not only can the military fatigues be modified for ballistic to achieve an impressive 110 damage and energy resistance, but you're also getting a small amount of energy resistance, as well as a +2 boost to agility, which arguably puts this particular piece of clothing over similar items. With this said, it should be mentioned that choosing a piece of clothing to wear under your armor pieces will be somewhat dependent. After all, the melee player might prefer the +1 boost to strength on the army fatigues, or you may like the +1 boost to luck from the added rags. However, I would say by itself, the military fatigues provide the best resistances once fully upgraded, and I think you'll find that the +2 to agility is very useful as they increase your action points is quite nice. If you're looking for this armor, try either high-level gunners or the vendor at Fallon's Basement in Diamond City, as these tend to be the easiest ways to get your hands on some military fatigues. Number 2, the green rag hat. When it comes to hats that you can perform the ballistic weave mod on, the green rag hat is going to provide you with the best resistances overall, as it comes with an inherent 10 energy resistance to start. Once you've applied the ballistic weave mod, you should be able to achieve up to 110 damage and 120 energy resistance, which surpasses all of the other hats that are available in the game. The downside to the green rag hat, though, is that it doesn't provide a boost to your special like the other ballistic weaves that have hats. After all, the Battle Fedora provides +1 to luck, the Silver Hat provides +1 to charisma, and the Newsboy Cap provides +1 to charisma while also being slightly lighter than the green rag hat. So, depending on how you decide to build your character, you may find that one of the other 2 hats could prove to be useful depending on your build. But like I said, your best bet when it comes to resistances by defense is going to be the green rag hat, thanks to its inherent energy. It should also be really easy to acquire this thing as well, as green rag hats can be easily purchased from Fallon's Basement in Diamond City. Alternatively, research type of sellers as well, is they often have a thing for resistance. And you will know with surprise, number 1 is the excellent power armor. I know this thing will be a surprise to anyone, but the excellent power armor is without a doubt the best power armor. Not only does it provide the highest resistance, but its individual components possess some of the highest armor of any power armor in the game. It's also got a pretty nice variant in the form of the Quantum Extra 1 armor, which provides greatly increased attack points for fresh speed, provided all of the pieces are equipped. I think my biggest complaint with the excellent armor, though, are the repair costs. While you have superior armor health, these components can still break, and when they do, you're going to have to expend a fair amount of some semi-uncommon crafting resources like copper and aluminum. And that, of course, doesn't even take into account the additional steel usage as well. Regardless of that fact, though, the excellent power armor is the best power armor. If you want it, I'd say that the best bet is to either wait for level-dependent sets to start spawning at level 28 and higher, or you can try the numerous sets that appear throughout the New World DLC. For the Quantum Exo-1 variant in particular, you'll need to acquire all 35 star cores that appear throughout the New World DLC's various areas, and then place them into the computers that are located on the first floor of the Star Core data. Alright guys, I think that's going to wrap up this particular Fallout 4 Top 10. If you liked this video, feel free to leave a like, click the bell so you can be notified when we upload more videos, and as always, take care, and I'll see you all next time.
only had a bobby pin. I buy and sell. Just put up everything you got and let's see if we can make a deal. I've got a few minutes to browse.
So Fallout 4 has a lot of great weapons from the vanilla game. You've got things like the Big Boy Batman, the Overseer's Guardian Combat Rifle, the Deliverer Pistol, and the Righteous Authority Laser Rifle, just to name a few. However, provided you play through some of Fallout 4, you can acquire some more great weapons, and you can actually customizations that will allow you to further upgrade some of the best vanilla game weapons that this game has to offer. Today, I'd like to go over what I think are among some of the best DLC guns and weapons available to the player in Fallout 4's DLC. So I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and start with number 10, and that is going to be the Sergeant Ash Flamer. To be honest, the Flamer is actually pretty subpar as far as heavy weapons are concerned. And this is because you can't really increase the Flamer's damage by a significant amount, and it's also because certain upgrades actually debuff certain attributes like the weapon's range and reload speed. However, the Sergeant Ash Flamer is actually fairly decent thanks to its inherent kneecapper effect. And while this effect isn't quite as good up against human enemies that can heal crippled limbs by using stim packs, it's extremely effective against most creatures. Certain creatures like Deathclaw can't even move provided all of their legs being crippled, making it impossible for them to attack you. And other creatures may have ranged attacks they can still use, but their strongest melee attacks won't be able to reach you because they can't physically move towards you. So because of the kneecapper effect, the Sergeant Ash can make for a great weapon to use against a variety of creatures. You can simply fire this flamer to cripple an enemy's legs, then swap to another weapon to finish them off. If you're looking for the Sergeant Ash, you can purchase it from an NPC named Deacon, who's located at Acadia in or Harvard. Number 9, the Protectron's Gaze Laser. So the Protectron's Gaze is a unique laser from the Automatron add-on that's based on a weapon that appeared in Fallout 3. However, other than the beam splitter that it spawns with, I think it's fair to say that the Protectron's Gaze in Fallout 4 doesn't really have much in common with the original laser from Fallout 3. Even still, like all laser weapons in Fallout 4, Protectron's Gaze is an excellent weapon that should deal a respectable amount of damage. In fact, I would say that out of all the weapons that you use from Fallout, the weapons are among the best. What makes the Fallout 4 Protectron's Gaze so special is that it has the rapid legendary effect, which includes fiery and reload. As you can imagine, this makes the Protectron's Gaze ideal for converting into a fully automatic weapon, as the rapid effect will boost DPS protection. So if you're looking for a good automatic laser and you would like to acquire the Protectron's Gaze, you will either have to defeat the Mechanist and loot it from their corpse, or you can also pickpocket the weapon from the Mechanist providing a good look at number 8 is the Western Revolver. When it comes to pistols, the Western Revolver is capable of the highest damage output for shots out of any other bullet pistol game. While other pistols may have higher fire rates, come in automatic variants, or have a much larger magazine size, the Western Revolver will deal more damage per shot than any of them. And a great way to think of this gun is that it's essentially a more powerful version of the 44 pistol put in arcade, where a maxed out 44 pistol deals about 90 damage or so. A fully upgraded Western Revolver should deal about 105. So if you want the best use of your 44 caliber ammo, then a fully upgraded Western Revolver will prove to be your best variant. For the Western Revolver, any 44 pistol already has a few unique variants available. You may find that those are more enticing in some Overall, though, the Western Revolver is a phenomenal pistol, and provided that you can get one with a good legendary variant, it's probably the best ballistic pistol available. If you want a regular variant of this gun, you should be able to receive one from one of the Protectrons in Dry Rock Gulch in the Nuka World DLC. Number 7, the Harvester Ripper. So the Ripper on its own is a pretty powerful weapon. While it lacks range, it has a pretty lousy power attack. The Ripper does benefit from a very high attack speed, which allows the player to hit multiple times a second. Plus, when you pair the Ripper with the extended blade customization, you can tack on some additional bleed damage, which can stack and deal a decent amount of damage per second. The Harvester is basically just a Ripper with the staggering legendary effect. The staggering effect can make it difficult for all types of enemies to fight back, including humans, which tend to be less susceptible to the meat hammer effect. And the ability to attack while reducing the enemy's ability to attack you back is extremely useful and should make short work of even the most powerful enemies. While the Harvester is probably not as powerful as a wounded Ripper, it still holds its own pretty well. Plus, the Harvester is much easier to get as long as you have more Harvest DLC. And if you're curious on how to acquire this weapon, all you need to do is go to Echo Lake Lumber and check a red streamer truck behind a locked door in the largest building. Number 6, the Nuka Nuke Launcher. While there's not too much to the Nuka Nuke Launcher, it's still a pretty good weapon, or should I say customization, for the Batman Launcher. In fact, the Nuka Nuke deals roughly 48% more damage than the standard Batman. And because any Batman can be converted into a Nuka Nuke launcher, you'll find that you can also apply this customization to the Big Boy Batman launcher and benefit from the Big Boy's inherent two-shot effect. The only real downsides to the Nuka Nuke launcher are that you're going to need a lot of Nuka Cola Quantum, and you also have to contend with the high ammo weight of the Nuka Nukes, provided that you're playing in survival mode. On the flip side of this, though, Nuka Cola Quantum is much easier to find in the Nuka World DLC, and if you do play survival mode, it is worth mentioning that Nuka Nukes and regular Mini Nukes weigh the same. So, if you have to pick one or the other, you're far better off using Nuka Nukes. Otherwise, there's not much else to the Nuka Nuke launcher. If you want it, you'll need to complete the Cappy and a Hazy Eye side quest, and make sure to side with Brad Burton over Sierra Petrovita. Number 5, the Fence Buster Baseball Bat. At one time, I would say that the Super Sledge was the best slow attack speed weapon available in Fallout 4. However, after the Nuka World DLC was added to Fallout 4, I would say that that honor now goes to either the regular baseball bat or the regular sledgehammer with the rocket customization. And this is because the rocket customization makes both the baseball bat and standard sledgehammer the highest base damage melee weapons in the game. All the Fence Buster is a baseball bat from the Far Harbor DLC with the penetrating legendary effect. And what this particular effect does is allow the weapon to ignore 30% of the target's damage and energy resistance. So if you modify the Fence Buster into a rocket Fence Buster, you should be able to deal a fairly significant amount of damage while ignoring some of the target's
still here.
If you would like the Fence Buster, it can be acquired in Vault 1. However, if you would like to add the Rocket customization, you will need to employ. Number 4, the throat slicer disciple blade. So when it comes to combat knives in Fallout 4, the disciple blade is pretty much the best one available. On average, you should be dealing about twice the amount of damage that you would, provided you were using a regular combat knife. The only downside to the disciple blade is that, like combat knives, they lack armor penetration. So you may find you're better off using a melee weapon against something like a high-level wireless or high-level power armor. As for the third slicer, like the Victim's Blade combat knife, the third slicer also possesses the wounding legendary weapon effect, which inflicts a certain amount of bleed damage over time. And because most enemies have bleed resistance, a couple of swipes from the third slicer will pretty much make whatever is in front of you die. Ultimately, the third slicer is an enhanced version of the Victim's Blade, and if you want the third slicer, you can purchase it from
someone would take my baby.
with Holden at the Newtown Market in the Nuka-World. Number 3, the Kiloton Radium Rifle. It's fairly obvious that the Kiloton Radium Rifle is a variant of the non-unique Radium Rifle from the Far Harbor DLC. In my mind, I would actually consider it the second best rifle in Fallout 4. However, up against the right-hand enemies like humans or other radiation-vulnerable enemies, you may find that it's actually more effective due to the fact that these enemies are vulnerable to radiation damage. It's also worth mentioning that the regular radium rifle makes use of 45 caliber ammo and generally tends to maximize that particular ammo type's damage potential. So if you want to maximize the damage with 45 caliber, then the radium rifle is the best choice. All the Kiloton radium rifle is simply a radium rifle with the exclusive legendary effect. And for that reason, it's pretty powerful. Not only should you be able to enhance your damage with either the rifleman or commando perk, depending on how you play, but you can also benefit from the demolition expert perk to further increase your damage to insane levels. Whether you use semi-auto or automatic, the Kiloton Radium Rifle is a phenomenal weapon. And if you want one, you can purchase one from Brother King after you join the Children of Adam in the Far Harbor. Number 2, the Problem Solver / Splatter Cannon handmade rifles. So both the Problem Solver and Splatter Cannon are unique variants of what is arguably the best rifle in Fallout 4, and that is the handmade rifle. Not only is the handmade rifle capable of the highest base damage for a rifle, but it also has relatively light ammo compared to its defensive damage output. In other words, the handmade rifle should allow the player to deal a pretty big old amount of damage per pound of ammo fired in survival. The Problem Solver and Splatter Cannon are basically enhanced versions of a handmade rifle that have the legendary effect, which increases the amount of damage that the player can deal on each system hit. Obviously, this lends itself best to automatic weapons. However, you may find that it works fairly well on semi-automatics as well, especially when you're going up against enemies with a lot of health or high damage. Now, the Splatter Cannon can be purchased from Aaron Corbett from the Newtown Market. However, the Problem Solver is acquired by passing the check from the Axe Gang Leader Mason. Now, you may be interested to know that it's possible to obtain both of these in one playthrough. So, if you miss the Problem Solver for some reason, the Splatter Cannon can be obtained and is effectively made. Finally, number 1, the Arsenal Gatling Laser. So there's no question that the Gatling Laser is one of the best weapons in Fallout 4. Not only does the Gatling Laser support one of the highest ammo sizes of all the weapons available, but it's also capable of dealing an impressive amount of shot, provided the version that it's using has been customized with the charging barrel weapon. The Iternos Gatling Laser is basically a Gatling laser with a never-ending effect. Now, normally, this would infinitely expand the magazine size of the weapons, which would require you to still consume ammo. However, you wouldn't have to reload at all, which would theoretically increase the weapon. In the case of the Gatling Laser, though, the never-ending effect is allows you to infinite ammo. Now, in order to acquire this experience, you will need to defeat an NPC named 90 during the Amoral Combat Class of the Core DLC. Alright guys, I think that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. If you liked this video, feel free to leave like, and as always, take care, and I'll see you next time.
Mum. What about the city? Concrete's nearby. Well, the people there have only shot me a few times.
Did you know EcoRich GM now offers 5 months guarantee on all new vehicles? I'm Graciana Ramon. Just remember, EcoRich GM.
Yes. Okay, we're doing the intro for a third time today, I think. Very excited.
There's still people alive in
So
Concord?
welcome back to the show. Today we are going to be playing a horse.
Just across the southern footprint of the neighborhood after the robbing station.
It's kind of like, you could actually kind of ending the story of the episode Garrett. And that is the Empire of North West with the ordinary condition we can say, and we would try to defend ourselves. And funnily enough, today is actually my birthday. And not that makes me feel old. It sure as hell makes me feel old, and it makes me worry. Will I still be fit and healthy for the early I need to stop having children around me. It's a serious thing, guys. I'm getting old. I need some hours for these young things. Like, give me a life to and have enough time in my life to do that. Very important. But hey, actually, because it is the Elder Scrolls Morrowind birthday, here we are, streaming Skyrim. They were playing for the second for the Legend of the here in the palace. It's actually hardcore. These episodes are linked down below. To be honest, it's one of those fun stories you've got this any time without really getting worried. So let's go and support as well. I feel around here. Where we are. Maybe we'll see our old friend right here. Oh no, wait, we've got to start the back. We'll start again. Right here. Will this be on YouTube? It will be. My goodness, Jackie Miller, thanks for the like on Facebook share. And Ezio, once again, thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate that, I do. So we've got to travel before the soldier. And check this is not actually. Who's the soldiers? How many men am I getting in my command? I'm already excited. Ah, yes, still some guard. Not too far from the bar. Oh, no, we don't want to travel directly to the port. We want to keep the soldiers just outside. Let's travel this, not give us blinking. We can walk over there. Stealth will probably if that's what's on. God, this is the day. God. I can see a deer over there, but naturally going to see a deer. Oh my God, this is probably what we do. Let's see if I've still got it going. Oh, let's just change the rest of my course. Oh, he's done it! Oh my God. Look, that was a perfect shot for life. See, if that deer had survived, he would have bled out. Oh my God, there's another one on the right. Can we get through the tree? That's it, slightly short. You know what, I should have just cut my losses there. I'd be like, that was amazing, but I'm never going to repeat it. Oh my God, okay, we're going to do this. Another one just right there. Fighting. Wait, I heard this guy. It looks like a fellow. This guy. Hello, who are you? It was the same guy. Oh my god, yeah. Right through the bushes. Oh, another one. Look at that. Absolutely. There's one crab. Oh, it's chicken. Absolute green. Green. Oh my god. That's crazy. The cool look on the arrow. Absolutely love crab. Oh yeah. Big four in a row. Amazing. Right, we've got to work on that bit. Actually, got that big something. I love this stuff. Very expensive. Oh my god, there's loads of powerful soldiers there. What the hell? So this mod also has like guaranteed for real rewards as well. And actually makes it so like that the rewards as well. We've got to take out these down. Oh, critical strike out there. All those people keeping watching power there, they probably see people wandering around in broad daylight, like, what the hell is the Dragonborn doing over there? Oh, yeah! Okay, they're actually fairly well hidden. They sent me storm clones, and one tracer was superior. This better be good. Oh my god. Oh, jeez. You're a nasty boy, aren't you? Good, you're here. Hey. Good, you're here. Yes. Good. It's interesting if you have too much. You can try to that first and slot it a lot of penalties and or you can sneak in past the guards and release the prisoners. Start a sort of recruiting line. I have from the outside as well. So, what will it be? Not that. What will it be? Get ranked down on the and they do it in it's something incredible. No one knows what it is. It was a one-time thing. We never did it like that. Prison riot, okay. Prison riot, no, wait, it's a night one. They're waiting for my phone. Okay, you want to wait? Yeah, look, I'm already getting spoiled by this.
This better be good.
Alright, let's wait for a while. I really want to take out this guy or the horseman. We're going to 100% take him out. I'll take the game. Just think about it. All in there. He's an eye. Oh my god. Get wrecked, son. This is just more fantasy, really. I'm role playing. Look, that soldier got a torch out to go to investigate. Oh, look at this. Oh my god, sorry. Run straight out into the darkness with a great sword. Is this guy actually in our power soldier? Oh! Oh, look, he's got invisible! Yeah. He's running straight out. Dude. Dude, this guy's forced down. This guy was like trying to grab him out of it. Now what we have to... I think that's the point. I think it's there too. I think the horse is actually now very Dominion spy. Oh my god! Oh, the horse is working for the enemy. Okay, I'll read it. I'll have that hand. I'm gonna take it to the I don't know. rolled into her. Like an absolute smack. You know, she had baby Saturn rolling around the floor. But I feel it on. Wait, what the hell is this? What's happening? Try to act. Oh, people in the hill. How do they know? Oh, they're going outside. Oh, we baited them. Oh, we baited them all outside. This couldn't have ended up any better. How did I do it? I don't know what this is. What is this? This is what wrong right there. Like, oh, I have to take that. This trip was very well done. I got the one last time, but it was going to go. Just the point about like the Richard Nixon stuff in the tank. Oh god, there's a guy right there. There's a guy right there. I can hear them all like equipping. Oh, what the hell? What is this? There's a whole army of troops here. Oh my god. What the hell? There must be quick. I can't get out there. Get the whole army now. There's no forward. Even if we freeze in certain, we're absolutely screwed. There's no way. Oh god. Thank you so much for Delta with a super captain and super effects and all like that. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate the support. Where's the present? I think it's probably down on it. Somehow, my terrible knowledge of what's on there paid off. This is the quick someone should make them all done kicking stuff around and let them. I mean, you have those shots, but everybody wants to play it. The whole game. That's the reason why okay, here we go. Hello, that's done. That's perfect. There's here. Oh, yeah. That's all brother. What did you want, Max? what I'm not grateful at all. All grateful at all. Okay, we have three people against all your family. There's no way this is worth it. I could just attack this. That's all. Out of the back. Oh my god, what? I'm like a way out. Wait, this is out of my fault. Thanks so much for having that myself. We get to go down there. Oh, getting a piece. I'm also a back into the state. Like, if you don't remember this, like the back. Just right now. Why is the day?